Good afternoon, everyone. And today we are in the church meetings to cover about the materials about the financial technology and data analytics. In these sessions, we will talk, discuss, and we will learn about the fintech hubs. And the material is taken from the fintech book, Financial Technology Handbook for Investor, Entrepreneur, and Visionaries from Wiley. Will edited by Suzanne Christie and James Berberis. So, when we talk about the fintech hubs, we learn about the specific terms it called hubs. What is the meaning of the hubs? Hubs is take their actions about the places where the fintech ecosystems, where the technology will are catalyzed and are growing up and they are rising in your country or maybe in your town, and it gives us about the real world examples and also showing us about the success story as the applications between the financials applications in technology use. And then we will meet about the fintech players in every world that have done right for their city or maybe the country. They can do anything or they can do well with the technology applications connecting to the financials measurements. So the goals to creating about the fintech hubs is trying to make a competitive markets between the fintech players, and they are creating about the fintech environments in a global, and then they can compete to another country or another applications, another services doing by the financials technology. And that's the meaning about the fintech hubs. The starting positions about the fintech hub is comes from the fintech innovations, that it should be comes from the entrepreneurs because they once are they having a demons, and they need to meet about they what they want and what they want to do in your business, and then they will be joined about the computer scientists. The scientists will be taken actions or will be make some collaborations with the coders or with the coding player, and then they need some funding from investor, and also they meet about the regulations from the governments, and they can share about the services about the financials using or embedding with the technology to the customer. So, the second point about the fintech innovations, it gives us about the movement we call the tech-driven transformations, because we are moving in technology, and especially for the financial applications, and they are doing by the technology on hands, and we can do anything. We like maybe for payments, for transactions, using the technology in our hands with the financial functions. So we call it the tech-driven transformations. These driven transformations bring us to the new era about the digital revolutions. These revolutions and is also impacting for the 3 points of aspects like the financial itself. It gives us about the new a point of view about the finance, not only for the physical financials, we are going to the digital financials or the virtual financials, and then in bring us on helping about the small medium enterprises or with the micro consumers, and then we'll be developing about the economic in our countries. That is maybe for the economic developments, specifically for the city, and they're having the affecting for the whole of the country. For your informations, and the global fintech sector is still growing up, and in every years they have been rising about two times. It means that 200% year on year in a funding by the investor. So the fintech sector is a promising industry because they gaining lots of funding from investors. Why it becomes popular? Because we have a good situations, a good conditions, and also good support from the customer and for the investors. Like we learn about the fintech hub that will be very powerful in the world. We can see for this short video is taken from the biggest fintech hub in the world. Is taken on the London's because London is becomes the first fintech hub, and then we can say that we can learn that how London's become the best fintechs in the world and become the center or the heart of the fintechs. Let's see the short video about the fintech hub in London.
London is the centre of fintech and the best place to access the best corporates, the best events and companies such as London and Partners.
Access to talent is hugely influential to London's success because London is a global financial services and tech innovation hub.
London has been a very big factor in our success. It's a vibrant place to attract vibrant people.
Diversity of talent in London has helped our business grow. It has brought a different perspective, a different way of thinking, which has driven innovation.
London has given us access to an enriched business ecosystem, which gives us the ability to form strong strategic partnerships.
The time zone is very friendly from a global perspective, easy location within Europe, the number of events that are held here on an annual basis, the easy access to corporate funding, all of these things put London at the forefront of international business.
So the London is become the center of a fintech because it's very accessible for the locations, and there's there are more diversity, more opportunity, and they are more of the access to everyone's to creating but a business and also with connecting with the community and with the uh, action and with the access for the communities and the consumers from every region in the Londons. So we can make some lessons from the leader in fintech is London as the most successful fintech hub in 2015. And some of people say that the London fintech hub is the heart of the global trade for the centuries because this is the first time we are moving the tech-driven technology, and they change anything in the financial services, and also they have a successful for this century. A fintech hub in London is talking about the locations. The location is could be as open cultures. There are lots of diversity. So the culture in London is very, very collaborative, and we can embraces more of potentials and the new informations, and also we can find about the familiarity between the hierarchy in this country. And then there are lots of the spirit about the collaboration and partnerships because the London is a dynamic town, a dynamic city that we can find or meet anything, anyone, and every time. That's why London's become the most successful fintech hub in the world. For the capitalizations about the venture capitals, London is not the biggest because it's still the number seconds or number two. This is the second biggest hub for fintechs for the measure in a venture capital investments because the most venture capital investments we can find in San Francisco, America. And then after London's, we can find about the New York in 5.2 billion dollar in a year, and then following by the Berlin in Germany. So with this data, we can find that more than 3,000 fintech headquarters. This is the highest number about the fintech companies or the fintech player in a globals. More than the two different towns like the New York and the San Francisco that only estimate in 2.5 thousands and 1.5 thousand in San Francisco, and also they can gaining for a lot of investors. They can raise their venture capitals for fundings. Is very growing up for starting for from the 4.8 billions, and now is over than 5.3 billions. So there is a very huge of the venture capitals for the investors in a London fintech hub. And London is also the home of the fintech unicorns. We can find a 29th, but the fintech unicorns in London, like the Checkout.com, Starling Bank, and also with the trackables. And we can find any kind of the fintechs, including the insurtechs for the insurance, the cryptocurrency for the Internet of Money, and also for the banking and the payment systems. They are growing in the London as the financial sectors, and they can becomes the best financial service in the world. That's the story about the best fintech hub in the world, a London fintech hub. But how about another country? Let's have some explorations about the fintech center over than London's. We can say London is the best positions for the fintech hubs, but we can find another country for the fintech hub. We can find the similar like the London is in a France. We call the Le Franc Fintech Connections. Why French or the French is becomes popular is like the London is a very strategic positions. Any kind of airways can be departure in the French, in the Paris, and in the London as the bigger city. So in the Le France connections, it's starting about the attracting the media of visibility. As we know, France, or especially in Paris, is an modes of the is the center of the attractions in the world. So we can find attraction for the media visibility, and this is starting about creating the center of excellence in a science and technology, starting on the Paris. Over there in the France, they have uh, for innovations and leveraging their own technology, and also they're creating about the new business model. After that, they needs more of investor, so they will attracting about the entrepreneur, like the entrepreneur from the international regions, and they can capture about the entrepreneur talents, maybe for the young entrepreneur over the world. And then the creating for dedications for investment programs that has been continue for the sustainability in French or in the Paris. And then they are more adaptive. They're very quickly adaptive about the regulations. So the French government is very enjoyable, and they can make a new regulation. So very adaptive, and they can the legislative can creating about the standpoints, and they can support about the fintech player and also a businessman and with the entrepreneur to invest in this country. Or after that, they can more make some connections and more collaborations, makes the strong strategic business and also with the geographic positionings. In the end, about the connection in the French or Le France fintech connections, is creating about the French FinTech Startup Associations. This is the highest positions or the capability about the French to starting about the associations uh, to protect their regulatory or and the fintech startup players in connecting to be the French connections. We can say about this map about the Lefranc's fintech connections. They are offering for the wealth and assets management and also with the marketplace. They can play in the money transfers, the data analytics, or the point of sales, and the exchange player, and the cryptocurrency, and also the principles of financial management in banking, and also for the payments and risk management. We can find anything, any kind of fintech players overall in the France connections. So, with these connections, Paris or Le France connections is become the global fintech hubs. Like London fintech hub is also familiar in as the our investors because more of the peoples sometimes choose London as the center of the trading, and also they can choose about the Paris for the second regions to be invest in the financial services. So with this short video, we can see and we can learn about how global fintechs or how financial technology player choosing Paris as the region for creating about the global fintech hubs. Let's see for this short video.
When we think about Paris, the Paris region, and France in general, we often think about cliches like the Tour Eiffel or Haussmannian architecture or baguette. But what people forget is that 4 of the largest banks in the world are based here. And it makes it a perfect testing ground for startups and entrepreneurs in financial technology to test their solutions. Plug and Play is an early-stage venture capital fund based out of Silicon Valley. Made sense setting up in Paris to participate and be part of this wonderful ecosystem and this vibrant vision.
HSBC has chosen Paris to be the hub of continental Europe activities. So that's a very nice place to develop activities.
Consensus is the largest employer in the blockchain in France. Paris is also a very interesting financial hub for us. We chose France and in particular Paris. Great place to attract talents.
You have access to innovative talents in IT, in financial modeling.
And finally, Paris is interesting from the regulation point of view, especially on the blockchain side, with the IMF, which is really in advance compared to other regulators in Europe, and which have helped new businesses and business models to emerge in France.
Over the past 3 years, we've seen the governmental interest in promoting startups and in promoting financial technology.
As a startup, you have a lot of subsidies from the state, from the region.
Paris is very well connected to London with the Eurostar, very well connected to Germany and other European countries.
And as we're seeing Paris and the region growing and evolving rapidly, we've started to look at making the city our home.
Making the city as our home. That's the good motto for the FinTech Paris or the FinTech French hub in Paris. Please welcome for Oliver and Hyacinth. They are ready joining with the class, and you can enjoy the class with the uh, any kinds of information that we can start at the 5 p.m. in my country. So let me to continue about the next information about the fintech hub in Netherlands or in the Holland. That we have the similar terms, a Netherlands, a Dutch, and maybe with the Hollands. In this country, in Netherlands, there's no companies as a fintech player in 2014. So after the 10 years like now, it's giving us about the large potentials about the innovative payments. The fintech players that has been growing in this country are empowering about the entrepreneur and the customer to deliver about their economic growth and also the prosperity over the countries because the Netherlands peoples gives us and they are allowing for open science. They are allowing for a new technology that's coming to the country. And they are aligning with the new stakeholder using the network because the networking is the powerful for the fintech hub, especially for in Netherlands. Oh, okay. No problem, Oliver. And he has no problems. That's I think but I still start the classes at the 5 p.m. But it's okay when you are coming late, but you need to cover with your lateness. Maybe you can uh cover the materials by yourself and also you are enjoying with the doing some quizzes in our virtual class like the previous class. Okay, let me to continue about the courses. After the entrepreneur and customer will be connecting with the stakeholder in the Netherlands, they are calling about supporters to create about the founding members. And this founding member will help to separate or with the promote how the best of financial services to in a London, I'm sorry, in a Netherlands. So the fintech players will be funded initiatively using and creating to be a limited liability companies. And after that, the fintech player will be separate for the financials activity or services, and they are creating a new business models and also with the government relations, and they will be joined to be a new fintech ecosystems in Netherlands. This is a um, good phase for their financial services doing in the Dutch or maybe Hollands or Netherlands. They are doing about the fintech player. We have lots of the fintech player in the Hollands map, like this ones. We can find for this sector for trading the foreign exchange or money transfers. They also having lots of player in the security or identity. And there's we have for alternative finance, that's a more their banking systems, and also with the cryptocurrency and the research analytics, it's very a good growing up in Netherlands because they are compete with the payments or credit managements, and also they can survive with the helps for the personal finance management. So these sectors will be yeah, over helping with the another sector like the investment and funds, the customer interactions. That is the basic pain points because the center of our services is based on the customer interactions and also with the insurance and lots of fintech players will be connected in the Holland fintech graphics. So this is the new balance in the fintech player or the fintech markets has been well distributed in Netherlands. Moving for the side of the Netherlands, we can see about the Luxembourgs that there's a future of a fintech hub will be compete or against a London fintech hub because when we starting from the Luxembourgs, it's like a country that having growing up about the internet connections and technology. In 2015, they are make some conference for the ICT in a spring sessions. And then this conference changing their financial landscapes because lots of the people on consumer in the Luxembourg having known are well knowledge about the virtual markets and also with the financial technology innovations. And then uh, not so far about the Eu- European conference, they are become the fintech major hub in the world. Next to the development about the Luxembourg FinTech Hub is they are providing about the market intelligence because there are lots of data analytics and they can find about more access to the business network because they are very open to the new customers and new entrepreneur and also with the new investors outside from the country and they are very adaptive for the flexible legislations especially for the fintechs or the financial services. So this makes the Luxembourg become the best a pioneer as the modern, open, and a connected country to be. They are very collaborating between the technological era and the financial service in this country. So for the Luxembourg fintech map, we can say that a lot of the fintech players, especially for the fund techs and investment, is having lots of player then payments and also with the regulatory tech or reg tech player, which having similar to the cryptocurrency and the blockchain players. Most of them they have protected by the security player and also they have the lending player cross of the Luxembourg in the fintech map. So we can find lots of the fintech players in this small country. So this is a future of the fintech hub that could be compete with the London fintech hub. Because the Luxembourg is becoming the country of the technology or they are become the pioneer or become the prototype of energy technology in financials. So we can see about the Luxembourg maybe the best or the most successful fintech hub is a newcomers after the Londons maybe in 2020 they very have innovations and they are bringing together about the innovations in the technology and finance. Let's see about the short video how Luxembourg can combine their innovation in technology and finance.
The internet forms part of almost every facet of our everyday lives, and the way we access it has become predominantly mobile. Financial services is no different. Firms engage with their clients on a 24/7 basis via mobile technology. Not only are firms bringing products and services to market that are more personalized, but new technology has also changed their internal operations. This is increasing efficiency across the entire value chain, as well as lowering costs in certain areas. As financial services look to the future of innovation, many are also enhancing their operations through advances in data processing and analysis, DLT, AI, cloud-based systems, IoT, and Web 3.0 applications. Luxembourg offers the ideal location for fintech firms looking to expand their product offering among finance firms. This is due to the unique position it occupies as a global hub for private and corporate banking, fund structuring, client servicing, insurance, and payments. A true B2B fintech ecosystem. Beyond this, the Grand Duchy also offers fintech firms a platform from which to offer their services across the European single market. The most successful path forward for bringing true innovation to financial services is through cooperation between incumbents and fintechs. Luxembourg is at the heart of this.
That's how the moderns are, but the Luxembourg's technology for the finance, so they can survive or compete with another fintech hubs. Next, we are moving to the Austria. The Austria is will be the capital in the Vienna is uh, very familiar, but the number one about the fintech hubs in this uh, years because they are specific starting for the basis for mobile payments, and they also having lots of relations with the venture capital environments. They are very open to the investors to be joined about the venture capitals, especially in this country, and they are having a specific of business incubator to developing their fintech hub. So with the business incubator, Vienna is becoming the number one fintech hubs because they are still growing. Lots of startup companies will be growing up, will be competes and will be become the greatest fintech hubs, starting with the new platform for the cooperations, and they are enhancing about the European capabilities. So this is the best how to offering about the activities in incubator business for Vienna. So they are starting with the mobile payments, and they now become the successful mobile payment hubs in the world. For the player in the fintechs, they are not very crowded like the another country, but we can find the similarity, and they are make some separations between the banking facilities and beyond banking facilities. So for the banking, we can see that they can do in a payment activities, wealth activities, the insure tax, the EI, and the for alternative investments. To compare with these banking facilities, they also have the beyond banking. They are moving with the alternative investments. They also wallets that will be compete with the banking wallets. And they also have the bookkeeping and then similar about the insure tax and also with the blockchain and a cryptocurrency. So uh, the Vienna is becomes the best mobile hubs in the world at 2020 and 20. And for Asian countries, we can find the example from India fintech ecosystems. The India having some innovation area, especially with the social sector, because the financial is not completely strong. They can do with the social sector. They can combine financial and the social sector. So they have the collective hub between the banking and the social. This one is very innovative because almost every industry arising based on the social collective hub. As these investments, the fintech startup will be very adaptive, and they can working at the new of capital markets, and they can do with some category for the payments, microfinance, trading, and any kind of institutional tools. So let's see about the fintech player in India. They're working in the payment sectors, the lending and banking system, for the insurance, the consumer payments, the government and the corporate initiative, personal finance using the lending, taxes, insurance, and also with the banking and trading sector. Next to the Southeast Asia in our regions, we have a Singapore as the best fintech hubs. But as you know, for your information, Singapore is not in the biggest fintech hub. It's still number four in the world. But in Southeast Asia, Singapore is ranked number one. The driver of fintech in Singapore is becomes from their technology and their good educations. They have lots of startup that will be growth very exactly and very support full of support from the country, and they can well educated by the community, and also with the mentors. Lot of mentors and lot of experts will be applied for a new fintech players in the Singapore. This educated of about the communities, they are creating about the global venture capitalists. So the Singapore doesn't need about the international entrepreneur. They want to developing their global venture capitalists from this country, from their people. So the Singapore having a local venture, they can support about the local fintech sectors, and then it's become the leading or the accelerator for the financial innovations, especially for the country. When you look at the map in 2020 and 20, Singapore having more than 430 startup. This is the lot of a fintech player that I know in Asia regions. They have lots of player in investments in the blockchain and cryptocurrency. They also have the fintech player in big data and AI, and also for the crowdfunding, the comparisons business, lending activities, a core banking, and a new neo bankings, the payments sector for the personal finance, insurtech, regtech, and also with the remittance players. That's why Singapore's is become the emergence, become the best of the global fintech hubs that we can find in the Southeast Asia. Maybe my country, Indonesia, and your country, Philippines, can learn about the success story or the success strategy from the global, sorry, for the Singapore fintech player, uh, for the best of uh, fintech hub connections between the country, and maybe especially is the biggest one in our region, Southeast Asia. Well, before we end about the class today, we will learn about the short video how Singapore become a global fintech hub in Southeast Asia. Okay, that's why lots of players make the Singapore as the best fintech hub that we can find in Southeast Asia. That's all for the materials for today, and I open the time for discussions. If you have any questions, we can discuss in persons about the fintech hubs, or maybe for the accelerating about your informations, or maybe with new informations to be shared in the development of a fintech hub in your country, maybe, or in my country. I give you time. If you have any questions, you can ask, or maybe we can make some discussions. Any question from you? Penis, Clinis, Citabel, Yachin, or Oliver? Oh,
None so far, sir. Thank
none so
you.
far. Okay. Thank you for responding, Oliver, Clinis, and Citabels. And while you doesn't have any questions, I will show you again about uh, our virtual class, Ukrida virtual class. Okay, in this uh, virtual class from the financial technology and data analytics, we are in the session 4 in the 4 months. Okay, and this is the materials that you can access free for the PowerPoints about the fintech hubs or the material that has been delivered today. And after that, if you still have a time to be independently study about the fintech hubs, and I give you exit tickets or maybe for the evaluations in the second quiz. You can do the quiz in a 10 minutes for attempts, and I give you two opportunity for the second attempts like the befores. You can do with your quizzes, and the quiz is closed for tonight. So you have a times, maybe not in all day, but until tonight you can do with your second quiz. And I will, after I check about the last week quizzes, uh, I show that you are very good for the quizzes, and your score is, I think that's a good scores. The see, uh, it's you. This is the combinations about your attempts. Like let me show you about the uh, for the example from the citables. You have two times for attempts. The first time your score is 86, and the second attempt is 100. So the your score will be taken for the highest points. We can see that Fan is getting the highest point in hundreds, Citable hundreds, Oliver hundreds, Clunis in hundreds. So Yachin is also for 100. So for the quiz number ones, you get the uh, full of points because you have the second attempts for your questions. But this sections will be help me to learn about which questions that should be wrong, or maybe you cannot answer the questions. It should be that's for evaluations for me, that you need some deepen informations, or maybe you need to new individual studies to covers, or maybe to learn about the fintech themes from the quiz number ones. And for today, you have the quiz number 2, and I give you time until tonight. Okay? Any questions for this assignment, or is it clear for the assignment? Any questions?
None, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for responding, Venice. If you doesn't have any questions, I think we can end our meetings, and you still have a time to do individually for your quizzes, or you can do by learning by yourself, and we can meet again. I'm sorry. Uh, our next class will be taken on 18 March, not in next weeks, in next 2 weeks, because in 11 March there's a public holiday in my country, so we doesn't have a class. We meet again in 18 March, so please come again in class in next 2 weeks. Just for remind you that uh, you have another class for next 2 weeks. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. More of you is coming before the times, or there's no problem where you are late for maybe for the connections, or maybe you have to do another activities, but you still do your quizzes because you have been scored for your quiz. Okay, and you can do by elaborate your skill using the individual studies. Thank you everyone for coming, and see you for next 2 weeks.